for the plot, but we all know it is probably not. Little chat with another slice of life. Biggles keeps talking about another villainess. And in a trope beneath the side of the irule. Watashi tachi wa sorera wa subete bunseiki shimasu. It's the Biggles breakdown, another anime night, fighting over shows and the plots. It's time for the Biggles breakdown. Breakdown.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Biggles Breakdown. My name is Biggles Metz, and I am joined by my two hosts, Crimson Law, the Gunnar Hashra.
Yes.
Little Chad,
who
needs to change his name to the Dad Hashra. And I am Biggles Metz, the Breakdown Hashra.
Father breathing first form. Get off my lawn.
What's up, bitches? Hello.
There you go.
The Father Hashra. So, everybody,
He decided to name you Daddy Hashira, and that would have been weird.
Yeah, but that's why I said Dad Hashira, or, not Daddy. Biggles moved to Tuesday now that it's football season. No, it is Monday. I have been doing a show on Monday night for a long time.
Football's gay and lame anyway. Why would I want to watch a bunch of giant-ass fucking sweaty dudes grapple each other for possession of balls?
I like what you just said. That's hilarious. But football is dog shit, and it has been dog shit for 13 years at least. So football can suck it because it's a bunch of super athletic guys with the technique of a fucking Pop Warner team. So it's not fun to watch. And the fact that there's like 8 broken tackles a play is retarded. All right, so we are here to talk about the movie that released this weekend, the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Yeah. So, what did you guys think? Did you like it? Was it good?
Well,
Was it
this
bad?
adapts my two favorite parts of the manga, and that is Zenitsu's fight, because they basically like the conclusion to his character arc. And then there is the Akaza fight, and I really liked Akaza's background, as well as just Giyu and Tanjiro working together in that fight. It's just a really good resolution to that whole plot line with like Rengoku and Akaza and the rivalry there between Tanjiro and Upper Three.
And Akaza has the best theme in the game. Let's not sugarcoat it. Best music in anime for his theme. It's fucking sick.
Are you talking? Do you listen to the Samuel Kim version of it?
I have multiple versions of it on Spotify, so I don't know which ones, but it's fucking awesome.
The one I listen to most is Samuel Kim's rendition of it, and he does he does it very well. But dude hasn't produced music in I don't know how long. He just kind of vanished off the internet. Anyway.
Yeah, like I knew he was coming, like before he was coming, because I heard the music and I was so hyped. I was hoping he'd win, even though I know what happens, so I could get more of his theme music. Oh, that I didn't say anything that spoiled anything. Hopefully.
Maybe.
It should be fine. Jeremy and Marcel were around while I was talking about it on Saturday. So
I just have to show this off real quick. This is so I was able to get some screenshots. And this is
Did you sneak the camera into the movie theater?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, he does sneak a camera into the bedroom when he's getting it on with his boyfriend, though.
Yeah, and I send it to Crimson. I stream it straight to Crimson's phone.
I don't know how you do this, and I'm seriously telling you to stop fucking live streaming gay porn to my phone. Please, for the love of God, it is obnoxious as shit.
I have my ways, Crimson. I have my ways. All right,
I wish you didn't.
So this is when you literally first see him. You see like some blue coming streaking down, and then he lands with the superhero landing and just fucking looks up, and you're like, it's fucking on. Let's fucking go. And I was hyped. I think I also have when he's first attacking Tanjiro, like right there. And I gotta be careful with what I show because I don't want to go into the other shows right now. Not much, or Marcel says not much. Just started. Does not dream of Santa Claus. How about you, dude? That's so good. Well, Crimson hasn't caught up yet.
I'm on episode 4, so I've been introduced to
Miniskirt.
our antagonist girl, who is causing trouble for Sakuta.
Women, man, always causing trouble for Sakuta. As I was,
no kidding. And everyone's like, "Why are you so popular with all these women?" And he's just like, "I wish I wasn't."
I want them to go away. I was complaining about earlier. Football season is hurting my anime watching time. I don't blame you.
Well, I mean, anime is better than football, so who fucking cares, you know?
Yeah, and I think they got rid of the things where you could just watch them in 15 minutes per game. Well, I read the manga years ago, but I haven't watched the movie yet. Hurry up, Marcel! You can watch.
Well, if you've read the manga,
instead.
you've basically just about seen what they adapt in the movie. Like, there's nothing really like particularly noteworthy that is different, other than they add some more scenes of some of like the no-name demon slayers fighting no-name demons.
Yeah.
And this is one thing where, like, I don't think I mentioned this on Saturday, but I do want to say that, again, as much as the movie is cool, it still should have just been another season of Demon Slayer.
See, I had people saying it wouldn't work if it was just a season, but
I think they're fucking retarded. Because some people were also saying that the movie has bad pacing, which I disagree with, because this is one of the very few really, really good storytelling segments we get out of Demon Slayer.
So,
realistically, you have 3 big fights separated by, world building, for the Infinite Castle. I agree with Crimson. I don't understand why people would feel like that's not paced well. You have a small fight. Well, I mean, you have each one is a very meaningful, well-paced fight. And then you have a break to kind of be able to take your breath, and leading up to eventually that climactic fight mixed in with the storytelling is amazing, and the animation is Jesus.
Top
I mean,
notch,
it's I can't even because I was like, oh, because you were like, hey, we're gonna cover this. Can you? I was like, I can make a late show on like the weekend. I'm sure it'll be fine, right? And I go see this, and I'm like, oh my, holy shit, this animation is good.
Yeah.
So I went with someone who had only watched the first season, but watched a recap to catch up because they were going to go with me. I tried to tell them we could watch it all in my Discord together, but they're like, oh, no, I wouldn't have time. So I was like, whatever. And so he was saying that it just dragged on about the backstory. And I was like, that's because you didn't actually watch it. You just watched the first season.
Demon Slayer's style of storytelling, though.
That is the staple of Demon Slayer. Like, that's why. I was like, and that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, was that background.
Akaza's backstory, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Going through it again, it hit me just as hard the second time through, because I've read the manga. I know how this series ends. It was just as good going in a second and a third time, because I went twice over the weekend, once with my brother. So, like, I don't see where people's complaint in that regard comes from. It's like, you want Demon Slayer to be this like purely like action only series with no story whatsoever. What are you, a fucking solo leveling fan?
Go watch solo leveling, exactly. So this was one of my favorite scenes. Harada and Yoshiro. That's how you say his name, right? Yoshiro. The demon dude. This dude.
Yoshiro
Yeah.
or Yushi. I forget what his name actually is. I don't care. He's a little fucking twat.
I like how he's like, you better not be talking bad to me if you're a lower rank than me. And he's like, I'm a demon. I don't like have your rank. But he doesn't say that out loud. He's just saying it in his head. And he's basically the reason why they were able to do this next part, which I'm going to grab in just a second. Unfortunately, I have to switch over because I have them named and not ordered. So I have this scene.
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as the movie goes, I don't understand why people would be opposed to turning this into a series because there's a lot of action and backstory. You probably could have had a lot of this more streamlined, and people would have been more satisfied with seeing the whole thing within a season or two, like two cours, rather than having this whole thing dragged out over 3 years.
Yeah, they fucking pulled the Attack on Titan fucking bullshit. Except Demon Slayer has a much
Because
better ending.
if you think, yeah, I was about to say, if you think this movie is bad because Akaza's backstory drags on, you're not gonna like the fact that Demon Slayer's ending drags on.
Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting for
who's
a
gonna?
note.
I mean, I know there's people who are doing it, but it's so well animated, it's so well written, it's so well presented. Why would you complain about that backstory? It's giving you the nuance to his character. Right? It's giving you
It's
the
not even like
motivation.
so here's one of the complaints I'll hear from people is why can't villains just be villains anymore? To which I respond, there are literally the next three villains you're going to fight are all just pure evil. Okay? Doma, Kakushibo, and Muzan. They're all pure evil. They're not good people.
I mean, they're
Akaza
not.
is the odd one out in the fact that he didn't even really want to become a demon. And the only reason he, went on so long is because he got the fucking open palm lobotomy from Muzan that,
Yeah.
wrecked his brain. He forgot everything because of that.
Right through the fucking head, man. Okay, this is the one I want to show.
It basically there's a group of people who, well, there's that, and then there's also the I just want to watch it for the action crowd, which is the solo leveling, the newer anime fans, people who came in around 2020, and they're just like, oh, cool, hype aura moment, yeah.
We can be honest, fucking tourists.
Yeah. For the most part, I know some people who aren't touristy and or who aren't as touristy, I should say, who are still like that. I wouldn't count them as tourists, more like just normies. But the point still stands. There are people who just watch it for the entertainment value, and they genuinely don't care about the story. They literally just want to see some fights.
Those are the same people that think James Gunn is a good filmmaker. So
maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't think some of them actually didn't like James Gunn's Superman. I've talked to these kinds of people.
Well, damn. I assume they suck at life too if they like James Gunn.
Anyway, it's I don't know. It's this weird phenomenon where because people were we got a bunch of Hollywood slop basically for so long. People came to anime looking for something that is Western and ended up not quite getting what they wanted out of it, and then started complaining that this wasn't to their taste and where all the real hero kind of bullshit happened. Why can't we just get our straight action series? There are action series. You're just too fucking lazy to find them, first of all. There are plenty of action series out there that you can go watch that are just, heroes and villains fighting. You're just upset that you saw something cool and it turned out to not be what you wanted. which I guess might be a little bit hypocritical coming from me because I do have that kind of complaint a lot of times where like, oh, it's cool, I like it, it's just not exactly what I was hoping to get out of it.
It's
Anyway.
sick. All right, yeah. So I think this is when this leads into the Zenitsu part. So Zenitsu was fighting his former Hashira in training, I guess. What are those called when they're directly trained by a Hashira?
The Suguko.
Yeah. So the Thunder Hashira that word
Suguko.
Suzuko.
No, Suguko.
Suguko. It's Suguko. And he's like, here, you'll take this blood and you'll become a demon. And then you'll be strong. And then we have, I think I have this. This is probably his most badass moment in the entire show is when he's just staring him down and like, shut the fuck up. I'm ready to kick your ass. Like, right before going off yelling
No,
about
and
like,
this is how you should do these kinds of characters. Like Zenitsu is basically your like stereotypical sniveling coward, and by the end of the series, this is what you get. Basically, the guy who has a reason to finally a good reason to fight someone, and he does well in that fight.
I particularly liked the concept of he was trapped at Form 1 but managed and they did it was subtle where he was flashing back and he where he got into the fight with the people who were mocking
his Hashira.
his art, yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps.
No, he was no. They were mocking the other guy.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
mocking the
dude.
other guy.
This
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
and but
Kakoki?
Kaigoku.
upper
Kaigoku.
six
Okay.
here, yeah.
Kaigoku.
So, but in that conversation, if you're paying attention, they're mentioning how when they're mocking him, Form 1 is the essential form that is the like inherent nature of the power set. Like if you don't get Form 1, you're really not in tune with the thunder breathing, I guess it is. And so it makes sense that he would be able to evolve that into that new Form 7, and because that was, I think, what he didn't understand when he was mocking him for being weak. It's very anime to do that, right?
Yeah.
You're mocking him for being weak, but you're missing the part where he, by mastering the fundamental, is able to take it to a new level beyond what you expect.
Well, what's that Bruce Lee quote? I don't fear the man who has done 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has done one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah,
Something
because
like
and Biggles, you'll appreciate that because it also ties, it ties into Catch Me at the Ballpark, right? What why did he love the catcher? Because he's the guy who runs down the first base line for that 1 in 100.
Every play.
It's a very Japanese thing to emphasize that the key to really being able to grow is to understand something on a fundamental level, like get the fundamentals right, and then grow from there. And so this rivalry where we have the guy who was able to master every form but the base, and so he didn't really get why he would be skipped over since he knew all these other ones. What he wasn't seeing, what the grandfather was trying to get in his head, is if you skip the fundamentals, you're never going to be able to do it on your own. You need both. You need the fundamental and the stuff built on top, or you'll topple. So I really liked. I mean, I'm into anime only when it comes to Demon Slayer. I haven't delved into any spoilers or manga because I knew this one was getting animated at a very very brisk pace, so I just wasn't gonna have to worry about it. So I really enjoyed the presentation and honestly, as epic as the last fight is, I really preferred the first two because they were so intimate in what they were presenting. Like, each one had, this one especially, they have the entire backstory where he's a Hashira who's turned, and that is, problematic on its own, but with them having grown up together and having the whole, backstory there. But also with, was it Shinobu?
Yeah,
I really loved the Shinobu fight and what they were getting into. Not so much. I didn't really care for the demon backstory. Was kind of like,
Oh no, that's why I say Doma upper
yeah,
two. He's one of like the most evil characters
yeah,
in this whole fucking series. He's just straight up like I'm evil not because I'm convinced I'm right or because I have some great reason to, but because I want to be.
yeah. So I really liked that fight too because it was a really good versus evil, and it was spoiler for what I didn't expect it because again I'm anime only,
mhm.
and when that happened, I was very like, oh man, you feel it because they give you the backstory, of Shinobi, like, and why this is so important, and it's a very Infinity War kind of thing where oh, not everybody wins, right? Um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I personally didn't really care much for the whole Shinobu thing. Just saying
dun,
that.
dun, dun, he doesn't
really,
have.
I'm like the opposite, like of you, or kind of the opposite. The Zenitsu and the Akaza fights were much better to me. The Shinobu one's okay, but I think Kanao's part in that whole leg of the story is a little bit more better.
well, we
And
cut a
Canal's
we
voiced by Bree, so it's going to be better.
and I mean, well, we don't get the resolution in the movie for that.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to wait another year to see that shit.
Those motherfuckers. All right, so Biggs, I wasn't sure since the scene were next to each other, where Tengen and Rengoku, the dad, at the same house on the porch as Nezuko. Yes, they are literally guarding Nezuko.
No, they're guarding the sun.
Are they? Oh, yeah. Sorry, they're guarding.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, they're guarding the ones drawing, the sun and
The
the
new
other.
master. The new master. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Hmm.
I guess is it the
Oh
son
no.
and two other sisters?
Yeah. The two.
I don't believe so because I maybe could be.
Well, I think there's 5 kids, and the older two sacrifice themselves with the mom and the master.
That would make sense as to why they look that way. It's just the way they say it in that is just like it's kind of ambiguous as to like whether uh um it's just like two of his sisters or like he's the last member of his family. Which is kind of fucked up if he's, the last like absolutely like the last member of his family.
I feel like, I mean, in terms of character design, they look like identical twins. So I'm leaning towards them being his two other of his sisters, younger
Yeah,
ones.
Yeah.
they are. So this is the death of the sister, and then this is a better shot of the deaths, and then I can skip over to a little bit. This is the graveyard at the beginning.
I
Where
really dug, by the way. We've talked a lot about like where CG can be used properly in anime.
Mhm.
Infinite
There's a
Castle.
lot of there's a lot of good CGI. Well,
Yeah,
throughout Demon Slayer, of course, there is some bad CGI. I mean, I can point to Mugen Train and like its CGI not being done very well, or even like Swordsmith Village, where you actually did have really good instances, and you won't even like really like notice them because they're so like small but really effective. Um, like in Swordsmith Village, like they use CGI for animating like smoke from people's pipes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, but like they animated like entire like fish monsters in that same season that looked like that looked okay, and then there were smaller fish monsters that looked like fucking crap.
So back to the Shinobu fight, because we all know she's weaker and they have to use the poisons. Apparently, they got the information from Rui, even though Rui was dead by the time they knew that she used poison. So that line didn't make much sense to me.
I don't
Um,
think they got it from Ruri. He just says you change your poison from
from Rui.
what you used on Rui's mountain. So I'm assuming that it's like in the last season where Muzan is kind of like spying on everyone and keeping track of things,
Mhm.
and he's the one who knows, and he's the one who informed everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and I think Shinobu makes a comment, a throwaway comment, so they do communicate about what happened. Like
Yeah.
they're acknowledging that they were doing recon, after the fact. But it's man, you're in like that's I agree with you, Crimson. If you want people who are true evil incarnate villains, you're getting that too. You're
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know what.
upper six was there. Next movie is probably going to focus entirely on the second half of the Doma fight, as well as the Kakushibo fight, which is going to probably be one of the most insane things you'll see come out of Demon Slayer, considering everyone who's going to be involved in that one.
Where he's there. Is it? So I'm pretty sure he's the swordsman that they kept showing that was at like Tanjiro's house. I don't remember. It's
You
been
think
a long,
upper one is the swordsman that was there?
I think
Is that
so.
is that what you're saying?
I think he's the swordsman that was changed, or like someone from that line. But it's been so long since I read it.
You'll find out a year from now, or you can just go read the manga.
Well, I read the whole manga already like a long time ago, so I just don't remember.
Oh man, I can't say it because there are some people here who haven't actually fucking.
It's okay. I don't care. But I just don't remember. But yeah, there's him pissed off. There's Nezuko being sick. And I think that's all the pictures I have. Oh no. The coolest part. How does Biggles not remember? Because fucking I read it when I got the manga like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's when I fucking read it, and I still remember that shit. Then
Yeah,
again,
but
I don't
I
have a
have
bunch
the-
of concussions.
Yeah, I have the memory of a potato.
Biggles took one too many dome shots, apparently.
Oh,
I have one more picture. This is the coolest scene in the entire fucking movie, where Tanjiro's dad kills the bear. Coolest scene in the fucking movie. Right there. All right, I got all my pictures.
Okay, that's
Hey, that's me.
it's Biggles.
I guess I showed the whole window and not the scene I was trying to show. But yeah, so
There are, because just a little bit of like more commentary on this, because this part of the series was rushed due to the author thinking they were going to die before they finished it. Some of the backstories aren't as great, especially like when we get to the second half of the Doma fight. There are some like questionably done backstories to tie people into certain fights. Like it is the most out of the ass kind of like I remember you kind of bullshit I have ever seen. I remember being pretty upset by that one. But the other than that, I don't really see any problems with the way it's written. A lot of people do complain about it being rushed, but reading the manga, I don't remember ever like disliking it. I actually finished the manga before I ever heard that the ending had been rushed, and I thought it was pretty good. So
there you go. Crimson seal of approval. Our Gunnar Hashira has spoken.
yes. I feel like this series overall could have used more Kanroji jiggle physics, but maybe that's just me.
There wasn't enough. Oh, there was that scene with Mitsuri where she's like, he's like, just stay with me, I'll protect you, or something like that, and she's like, it's just so great. The love Hashira finding love.
She's freaking out over a fucking snake boy.
Yeah, well, aren't they? I think they're like a couple. Like the socks he wears or she wears are a gift from him, right? You know, so
They're not a couple, but he very clearly has a thing for her.
doesn't he threaten Tanjiro in like one of the
Yes,
earlier
because
episodes?
he has a huge crush on her, but Kanroji is just Kanroji and isn't actually like in any relationship with anyone.
Yeah, there we go. The love Hashira. I love like when the older episodes, like where she's like painting in the after credits, and she's like, "I just want love." It's like, why does no one love me? And then I think the crow is like, "No one's going to love
Look,
you."
I
Like,
think the most unrealistic thing in all of this is that someone would turn down a marriage proposal for Kanroji.
I know, right?
Like that is the most unrealistic thing. Like who would look at that woman and be like, "Nah, I don't want to be near her."
Well, as soon as they realized her food bill is more than the girl that weighs 700 pounds, they're like,
It's worth it. It is worth it.
they're like,
Do you see the rack on this chick? It is worth it. That is where all that food goes. Like it is absolutely where all that food goes.
I have with certain stuff, okay? Like I get it. um but yeah, overall I thought this movie was awesome. And anytime Asuka is on screen, his theme music is fucking rocking.
Anytime
And
Asuka is on screen, dude, this ain't Evangelion.
Oz Asuka.
Akaza.
Akaza. Yeah, sorry. Damn it. I had to like prepare myself to say it correctly all the time, and I fucked up. Akaza. Yeah. Akaza's fucking
Hey,
music.
little Chad, do you think if we hit him over the head one more time, it'll fix his brain?
Is it gonna be like, and reminds me of Christmas Vacation? Falls down a well, goes cross-eyed, gets kicked by a mule, they go straight. I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe one more hit'll do it, or either that, or it'll be like Billy Bob, where the counter just goes one, and you got two more, and then you're done. Uh,
Not another teen movie. That's good. They used to say that character was me because of how many concussions I had. All right, so Akaza's backstory was freaking great. Who knew he had love? And that's why he wanted to get stronger so he could protect them, even though they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Now, Akaza is really just like one of the like great like tragic villains that you can find, and I feel like it's just one of the parts of Demon Slayer that gets slept on when you have certain scenes like this. Like Demon Slayer season 1 did a good job of this with like its first encounter with like a cast out from the lower moons.
Mm-hmm.
And then really like the next big chance you get in all of that is Akaza. I mean, you get a little bit of it from Rui, but it's kind of hard to really sympathize with that. And then like Daki and Gyutaro, but like I don't know, fuck their hoe asses too, I guess.
Yeah, fuck them.
Akaza though, I genuinely was like, wow, that kind of fucking hurt when I read that in the manga.
Dude, when he was still alive, when his head got cut off, he's like, "I will not be defeated, even without my head." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like his head even disappeared, and then he's like, "Fuck this!" He started beating the shit out of himself. Man, so
Yeah.
fucking cool.
no,
He went all Fight Club and started boxing himself.
And I mean, when you get the backstory, and I think this is, I think this came up a lot with the Sword of the Demon Slayer. People fundamentally don't understand Japanese culture and where demons come from in Japanese culture. It's not always there are inherently evil demons, and then there are people that had such horrific trauma done to them that they become demons, right? And it's a very Japanese cultural thing to do. So when you know the backstory of how someone got to, and in this case, I didn't feel bad when he went and wiped out the entire, you know,
I know, right?
The other dojo.
the
Yeah,
sword master.
I was
I was
fucking.
rooting for him.
I was about to say the same thing. I was rooting for that motherfucker.
Because I mean, to do what they did, they were. I mean, this is one of those old Twilight Zones. Like they were the real demons, right? They poisoned a well to kill a father and his daughter, and presumably they thought they were going to get him too because he would have been at the place with them to wipe out, to kill just in cold blood all three of them just to take their land. So for him to go over and then in a obviously it was horrific for being quote unquote cult murder, but it also proved in a weird way the superiority of his master's fighting style. Like I will
He
bare
killed
hand,
a motherfucker by
yeah,
tapping him on the side of the head right as he walks in the door.
yeah. I mean, he went all Anakin. I killed him, not just the men, but the women and the children too. And
Bro barehanded fought 67 dudes and won.
I thought it was 37.
Was it 37? I thought it was 67.
I know they said it was some high, crazy high count, and like you said, when he gets turned, I mean, he's just wandering at that point because he's killed all the people who killed his beloved and his master, and then he runs into Upper One, who, like Crimson
No,
said,
he
just
runs into Muzan.
He runs directly
was it
into
Muzan?
Muzan.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
it was
Muzan?
Muzan,
Okay,
yeah.
it was Muzan, who just fists to his face, like he says, I'm gonna make you a demon now." And also at the same time sort of threatens him like, yeah, if you don't like on, like do this, I'll kill you like terribly.
Yeah. While he's got a fucking fist in his face, he's threatening Muzan.
But I mean,
Yeah, the fucking 1-inch punch lobotomy. Yeah.
but it ties in like in terms of his character, right? He was in pursuit of just getting stronger. Very anime, very kind of like traditional shonen kind of thing. Your villain is trying to power scale up just like our hero is. And just like in traditional shonen, when he sees the hero make the great leap forward and do the thing that he was trying to do but could never get to, he's genuinely respectful and in awe of that. And in a very, again, Japanese situation, he basically commits demon version of seppuku, where he just beats himself to the point where he's like trying to he needs to beat into his body. Don't regenerate, just let go. Right? Don't try to come back. I want. And then obviously he has the flashes where he has the genuine moments of forgiveness and acknowledgement from father, master,
And even
fiance,
Tanjiro.
and where they give him permission. Like what was the master's line? Even though was his master or his dad who was like, I think it was his master. It was like, even though you might not be in heaven, you're still, we'll still be with you. And that was beautiful. It was animated so well. It was well done. I loved the pacing and the context of that really epic fight intertwined to the backstory. It was the only thing I would complain about is I wanted more. I wanted the full, like, let's keep going. Let's get this done. Now we're gonna have to wait now another year. Now on the other hand, this thing fucking made bank. It made $70 million this weekend.
Do you have the report of that, and we can look it over?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. So as far as Demon Slayer goes, I know that previously it broke a bunch of records with Mugen Train when it came out, like right after the COVID lockdowns ended. Sorry, I probably just got your channel demonetized by saying that word. I forgot.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't get ad money anyways. We're fine.
Well, you're correct. When the virus of unspecified origin made its way over here, it did. Anime had its moment. That's where we get a lot of these 2020 tourists who don't understand and don't appreciate culture. And Demon
Yeah, like
Slayer.
people who still leave reviews on My Dress Up Darling saying like, "She's 15, turn
Yeah.
down the fan service."
Yeah, they say that, and this is the photo that they decided to use for the Demon Slayer movie.
That's
I mean,
very. I love it. Thank you.
yeah.
I appreciate it, Deadline. So,
She could
So
crush
the
my head like a melon with her fucking thighs. I don't
so
care.
this is the sixth biggest opening ever in September. We're not just talking anime, just like ever in September, and this is the best anime opening ever, and it is the for Sony, right? Sony released this because they own Crunchyroll. For the last 2 years, that includes Ghostbusters movies, etc., etc. This is the best opening Sony has had for any movie it's released in 2 years.
so imagine how much bigger it would have been if it was more than 7 theaters in the state of Arizona.
You
It
only
was.
had 7 showings
I
in
feel
It was
like it
only.
was,
Arizona.
It was like 7 showings. Well, there's probably some up north in like Flagstaff, but within an hour and
Well,
a half of me, there was only 7 showings.
it's kind of weird that you say that because here in Illinois, unless you go to like one of the bigger areas, like say Peoria, Aurora, Naperville, like the bigger cities, you won't find anime movies in theaters. The last time I saw like my small local theater attempt to show an anime, it was Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, and I think they just kind. Oh, actually, no, it was the Dragon Ball movie, and I think that at that point they just kind of realized it might not be worth it to show anime movies because we're not making as much money off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, every local theater had Demon Slayer here. I was able to go see Demon Slayer in my hometown.
I had to drive 40 minutes.
As opposed to doing that, yeah, driving 40 minutes. Normally, if it's something more obscure, like I want to go see the theatrical release for Dandadan, I got to go 40, 50 minutes to Naperville. Otherwise, like if it's big enough, and Demon Slayer was, it actually gets put into all theaters. So I think Arizona may just be unique, or it might just be unique in the fact that they decided to do a bunch of releases near Chicago because yeah.
That could be it too. There was limited. It was limited theaters too, and like other
yeah.
places. So
I see Jeremy Turner in chat was like mentioning. I am also in the DC metro area, the DMV, and I can tell you every AMC was playing it in
Well,
multiples.
AMC is generally pretty good
Yeah.
at covering anime movies. That's usually
Yeah,
the theater that
AMC's
I have to go to see.
I would say AMC and Regal have really bought into, and they usually because Fathom Events will do a lot of anime releases. So this was a wide release from Sony, but Fathom Events will do those limited where it's running for like a couple days on a weekend things. Like I think Overlord, I believe, was a Fathom Events when
the
it did that.
the Kaiju number 8 OVA that they did with the recap movie that skipped the best fucking fight, assholes. It was in like one less theater than Demon Slayer was for us over here.
Yeah, I know one of the things that's interesting, and Demon Slayer because it got more screens, had this as less of an issue. When they do anime releases in theaters, they'll usually do 2 showtimes a day, where one of them is dubbed and one is the sub, and they'll alternate. Like the sub will usually, and they'll change it by day. Like so, one day the sub will be early and the dub will be the late show. Like the 8 o'clock show will be, and then the next day they'll reverse it. So the dub is the afternoon show and the sub is the 8 o'clock show. That's not really conducive to capturing your whole audience, right? So in this case, when I was looking at the Demon Slayer showings, at least in the theater I was going to, they had it on at least I think 4 screens, and they were just basically 2 of the screens were dubs, 2 of the screens were subs, and they just went with, the only screen where it was alternating was the really large format, like the IMAX like what
Yeah.
they call it the big D when they don't want to pay for the IMAX rights, That one was still alternating because they wanted to be able to capture for the premium format, but they had other screens, that were regular, and each one was either just the sub screen with these showtimes or the dub screen with these showtimes. And I think that helped. That really helped get to this big opening. I mean, it also Demon Slayer is probably the biggest anime of the moment, right?
Yeah.
Right
So,
now, it is easily like the most popular anime in the West, I would say. I don't know like where it stands globally. Like I know if you go to Mexico, Dragon Ball is so
Yeah. It's so
ingrained into the
huge.
culture. You can actually track gang violence, gang violence levels, in accordance to Dragon Ball releases. It actually falls, like gang violence and activity falls when new Dragon Ball content releases.
I believe it. I'm not committing crimes with Dragon Ball's out,
I'm just saying the Mexicans like their Dragon Ball, okay?
Yeah, man, I don't blame them. It's all of Latin America. So at my theater that I went to, it was 2:30 for the sub, and then 6 o'clock for the dub. So it's like that's it. That's all they had was two things on the IMAX screen. And almost every theater I was checking, there was only 2 showings per day, one sub, one dub.
I know Jeremy's talking about Chainsaw. They definitely attached trailers for Chainsaw Man's theatrical release that's coming out.
Yeah, I was also kind of like disappointed in the sub version. So I went and saw this in both sub and dub at my local theater. In the sub version, you actually get a trailer for Jujutsu Kaisen's next arc. Now, however you feel about Jujutsu Kaisen, I have complicated feelings about it, but it is an entertaining series. So I was kind of looking forward to seeing like my brother's reaction because he also likes Jujutsu Kaisen, but he's more of the kind of shonen fan that we would have been referring to as a tourist earlier. But for him, I would generally just like he's the person that I would refer to as a normie. He watches the popular stuff because it's cool and he enjoys it. He doesn't like actively like shit on everything that anime is. So normie. But like in the dub version, they did not have the Culling Games trailer. It's kind of disappointing that they cut that part out, but they did have the Chainsaw Man movie trailer. So that was cool.
We didn't have any anime previews. I think.
Fucking what?
Yeah, we didn't have any anime previews before it. We had maybe. I don't even know what the previews were. Like they weren't.
Did you get like the A21 preview about like the ping pong movie?
No, we didn't get that either.
Huh.
We got like 2 trailers, and then it went straight into the movie. And we didn't really get like previews for anything.
To be fair, in Arizona, Demon Slayer had some troubles.
What do you mean by troubles?
Did you guys not hear about the story of?
Oh
some
yeah,
dude
yeah,
in
yeah. The
Arizona
dude, yeah,
theater?
okay. Taking
so-
a whiz on a child.
What he did was he pissed in a cup and threw it at a child during the Demon Slayer movie. And it's funny because there's a clip of the aftermath of this
He
of
called
a bunch
a
of
beatdown.
adult dudes beating his fucking ass to the Demon Slayer soundtrack. It is hilarious.
Fuck yeah, dude! Beat the shit out of that guy.
You just have Zenitsu's theme in the background going da 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 as 2 dudes are just sitting there fucking wailing on this dude.
So Swig sent me a thing of that, but it doesn't say where it happened. It just says it was at AMC Theater, right? And
well, the reason I know that it is fucking
Arizona.
The reason I know it's Arizona, yeah, is because Brandon Varnell, he's a writer that I kind of follow, talked about like I am never going to a showing in my home state again because of shit like this.
So Swig sent me that, and I go, Swigs, why'd you pee on someone? And he just said the movie's too long. But yeah, I would have kicked the shit out of that guy too.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it. It's just really like it's odd, one, that a dude would decide I'm gonna piss in a cup and throw it at a child, and two, it's hilarious that he got his ass beat to the Demon Slayer soundtrack.
I would have curb stomped his head in, but I'm a psychopath, so
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a psychopath. Maybe just a little bit of a psychopath.
yeah. So yeah. Yeah, we had like 2 trailers, so and they weren't even anime.
There's
right.
also another incident with the Demon Slayer movie where in Mexico a mariachi band mistook it for a showing of Toy Story and then walked in and started playing like "You've Got a Friend in Me" at the end of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that was the Demon Slayer movie as well. But I was like, yeah, are you retarded, Swix? Like, oh, Swix is just sending me the most retarded shit. And I didn't realize that it was during the Demon Slayer credits because we looked and there was also like a re-showing of Toy Story going on.
I vaguely remember another show, a story of someone like taking a shit in the theater, but I can't remember for the life of me where I heard that one.
Well, the person I was with was saying they didn't want to eat any of the popcorn because they were worried that they would have to go to the bathroom during it. So I told them to just wear a diaper. Let's review this. All right, add your review. It's got 19 reviews. Do we want to look at some of the reviews first?
You need to pull this up on the big screen so people can see it, Biggles.
Son of a bitch, Biggles, you fucking retard.
Little Chad, were you just gonna let him roll with that?
I was gonna wait till he noticed, but it's fine.
I actually started going through on critic lists and like rating some of this season's anime. So I actually have a Demon Slayer review out already.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, as of like 2 days ago.
So are you going to join the Biggles breakdown thing?
I
Oh,
don't
look,
think I'm on the cool kid list. I don't have a critic list. I wasn't invited.
you were invited. Okay, let's see if we Crimson Law. All right, let's read Crimson Laws. Having read the manga, I had high hopes for this movie. It thoroughly lived up to those. Oh, look, he gave it a 95. The story is the only part of the final arc of Demon Slayer, but it depth some of my favorite parts of the story, which I will touch on later in this review. Crimson loves to touch on things later on. But in general, there are some slow moments closer to the start that felt less interesting. But the action and animation was constantly fabulous. Okay.
Fabulous.
That's how Crimson speaks. Major fights are immaculate, right? Did I say that word right?
Yes, you said that immaculately, Biggles.
Boom! Works in animation that really do capture all the epic moments in an incredible way. Several character arcs that have been playing out throughout the series have come to their climax. So it's not completely devoid of storytelling like some action animes that are out there. Cost soul leveling. Zenitsu Akaza.
That is the exact one I had in mind when I wrote that.
Are the notable ones. Well, I know Crimson, you know. The Zenitsu Akaza were my 2 favorite moments from the manga, and they are just as thrilling in the movie. The payoff for Zenitsu's character is great, and Akaza's story hits just as hard the second time around. So outside of some, what I would call minor hiccups, it's an outstanding movie. Language, standard anime or usage of words like bastard and damn, no political bias, a ton of violence. It is a series about killing demons. Yeah, there's lots of violence, plenty of blood, and a good bit of viscera and some decapitations. Family friendly, maybe. If you're okay with gore, then sure. Not that I recommend exposing young children to this level of graphic violence.
The number of 4-year-olds I saw at the movie was just astounding to me. Like,
Dude, there
people
was
taking
so
their like
many-
4-year-old children to this movie where like Akaza's fucking guts are hanging out at one point.
There's like this tiny little kid, like maybe this big, like the same size as my action or my figure of Oceana, was like at the theater watching this. Probably the most tame anime out there in regards to sexual content. Entertainment value, a ton. There are some slower points early on, but when it hits its stride, the movie is fantastic. Okay. How about the shooting that Giyaru, or not Giyaru, Giyu and Tanjiro were passed out where all the demons could hear. My theater laughed so hard. Are you serious? Crows shouting. Okay. Speak of the English, please. All right. How do I give Crimson a thumbs up? Dreaded Dinosaur. I think I know who this person is too. Steel Leg of History. Okay, we like Steel Leg of History here, so let's read it. Nothing. Steel Leg, you're killing me, man. This review contains spoilers. And then there's nothing.
What a fucking troll. This review contains spoilers. Says nothing. Motherfucker.
Steel
You
Leg of
little
History,
cunt.
if you're watching this, you and I are going to have a talk about your review.
Steel Leg of History, you're a cunt for that.
No, Steel Leg's awesome, man. Let's not say mean things about him. Okay, let's talk about Wes, who doesn't like to show up anymore because he hates me because we're both in the same place. All right, let me start with I'm a huge fan of the anime, so the review will be biased. And this is the first movie I've gone to in theaters since Spider-Man: No Way Home. I saw this in IMAX, and I would highly recommend it. So we went to the same IMAX, but I don't know if we went at the same time. Even though I told them when I was going. I would highly recommend anyone to see it in IMAX if possible. My theater was packed with only very few front rows in the thing, and that's because there's only 2 theaters the entire day, or 2 showings the entire day. This is nearly a 3-hour movie, so if you have to go to the bathroom break, go after a big fight concludes fully. There's one at about the halfway mark. That is the perfect time to go. This is extremely action-packed from start to finish. A lot of the main characters we have come to love have good amount of each and some backstories of them as well. The soundtrack is amazing and gets you pumped for the fights. The art is absolutely stunning, but there is some CGI where some look pretty good and some look about average. There's one scene with the CGI that looks pretty bad and almost takes you out of the movie, but thankfully it only lasts about 30 to 45 seconds. You see and feel the true magnitude of the infant castle. Just separate.
Where is that CGI?
Maybe one of the crow parts.
Like, I don't remember, like, outside of like the background being a different animation style, which is understandable given how complex it is.
Mhm.
I can't really imagine there being like a problem with the CGI.
All right, let's
Sorry, continue.
separated from Demon Slayer are each other. There's one flashback towards the end that goes on for too long. Hey, Wes, if you could hear me, man, TOO. For too long, even though there is a payoff for it, but I might feel that way because I needed to pee. Okay, that makes sense.
You might also feel that way because you're stupid, okay?
Overall, a great movie that I'm glad I saw in theaters and can't wait for the next one. If you haven't watched this anime, go start it now so you can watch this movie. I don't remember none. It's anime, a lot of animated blood. It depends. It depends. It is rated R. This movie was rated R.
Yes.
But I would say
For blood and gore.
I
of all
mean, you've got
things, for violence.
decapitations galore. You've got violence. I mean, when
nudity, sexual content. There are some bouncing boobs that are covered.
this is true.
Demon Slayer is responsible for what happened last week. That's the new talking point.
The titties. Oh, okay. So Epic Mike did one. Let's see what Epic Mike has to say.
Sorry, I had to make some fun of people who are fucking pointing fingers on that shit.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
People
I mean, there's a very clear finger to point at. You don't need to start reaching into Demon Slayer or anime about it. I think that's a personal opinion, I guess.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot those. In the backstory of the Okay, I remember those now. Fucking tragic. All right. Having read the entire manga and loving it, I knew what to expect from this film as far as the story goes. What I did not expect is how absolutely gorgeous and intense the animation and voice acting would be in this film. Yes, I watched it dubbed. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, Epic Mike. I also watched dubbed. All right, this is Demon Slayer.
I watch both because I'm fucking bougie like that.
You slut. Okay.
Slut, that's a new one.
You slut. How dare you cheat on both of them? Okay.
Crimson the slut.
Crimson slut. The Gunnar Hashira.
Oh, you're hilarious.
This is getting out of hand.
We're retarded, okay? Okay, this is Demon Slayer at its best. I also wasn't expecting them to cover so much ground in this movie, but they covered a significant portion of the final chapters of the manga, even expanded on some moments that were quickly resolved in their original story as well. Even with the movie really does do it source material justice. My only qualm with this is that you use the word qualm. Okay, is one that I also have with the manga. It can be a bit long-winded at times when exploring a character's backstory. This is a small thing that really doesn't affect my enjoyment. Cannot wait for part 2 and 3. Thanks, Epic Mike. And then we know Mo Monty, so we'll read that one as well. My son wanted to catch this movie, so we ended up taking him to whatever that word is to check it out. Didn't know what to expect, but I really was blown away on how awesome this movie is. I really got into it with the battles. And now I'll have to learn about the lore leading up to the movie because I definitely hooked on this. So he literally just watched it with his son, and he's like, yep, I'm going to go watch the anime. All right, Mo, I got you. All right, now we do our review. Let's go. So I'm saying it's a 97. Crimson did a 95, right?
Yeah, I said 95.
All right.
I keep my my reviews at like even fives because I'm autistic like that.
That's fine. Little Chad, what do you got?
I would go 95.
Okay. And then we'll divide it by 3. So 95.6. Okay. Most excellent. So this is like the average score is a 95 for everyone. Oh, wait, we got to round up. We got to go to 96. 95.66666666.
That is how one would do it.
Yep. Yeah. We had to round up. We can't cheat this the score. All right. Give the people more of an insight into the themes of this movie. Optional. Okay. Any graphic language? Not really. Maybe a couple words. I don't remember. Okay. How much violence? A ton. They are fighting most of it, and Akaza, in his backstory, kills a shit ton of people, and yeah. Okay. Is there any nudity? No. Not in this.
The only nudity you'll find is the people stripping in the theater.
Just cleavage.
Jeez.
And Crimson naked in the theater.
Don't put that in the fucking review, you cunt.
All right. Political bias, none. Is this family friendly? Maybe.
I mean, in the context of that question, family friendly. No, I mean, this has extreme violence, and it probably wouldn't be appropriate for young children, and even teens and tweens. It will be, you should make sure that they're mature enough.
I was about to say anyone under 14 probably shouldn't be watching this.
How do you spell gory?
Gory.
Okay, so I was right. Okay, how much entertainment value? It was freaking Awesome. Okay. All right. What do we think? Chat. We need your examples. Chat. Every breakdown review.
Chat. Are you getting this? Chat. We
Chat.
need your comment, chat. Chat. You have to
Chat.
tell us what you think, chat.
We need to know. I'm just glad I didn't notice Channing Tatum when I heard he was going to voice. It. I was tempted to watch the sub. Who did he voice again?
He's Kakushibo, I believe.
Kakushibu.
Upper one, or
upper
is he
one?
upper? Is he 1 or 6? I forget which one he is.
He's one. Because Kigoku or Kokugoku
Kaigaku.
is upper 6.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I don't know if Channing Tatum was Kakushibo or Kaigaku.
Oh.
I feel like he was.
I did have to go and check the dub cast because I recognized Giyu Tamioka's voice. I'm like, man, where have I heard this dude before? It's Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah. So I took my nephew to Game On Con, which is the main con I go to every year. And
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, I want.
Game On Con.
Game On Con. Okay.
It sounded.
Game On Expo. Sorry.
You really need to enunciate clearer because there was a definite
Gay.
gay vibe to the
Gay
initial
vibe
speaking.
con. Okay. So we called it
Biggles takes his nephew to gay furry cons.
So we called it Hashira Alley. So it was Giyu, then it was the Wind Hashira, who was
Fanani.
yeah, who's Kenji, the guy who plays Gojo, right? So we had that. Then we had
Jinchi. I forget his name.
Kanji Chang or something like that. Kanji
Kaji
K-I.
Tang.
Yeah, that's how you say it. And then we had
Kaiji Tang. His name is Kaiji Tang.
Then they had Nezuko, right? So she's not really a Hashira, but then they had Nezuko. And then right after Nezuko, they had Red Goku. I think they had the voice of Red Goku. And then
I don't know who that one is.
And then after Red Goku, they had Shinobu. So we called it Hashira Alley because it was all the Hashiras.
Nice.
I just looked up who Channing Tatum played to confirm it. It was Kaizu, the master.
Okay, so Swigs is right.
Yep.
Okay. So,
congratulations, Swigs! You win the Don't Give a Fuck prize.
All right, chat. We need your comments on what you thought about this movie. Crimson's review notes are on his, but for the rest of us here at the Biggles Breakdown, we enjoyed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Akaza as the best theme music in all of anime. Swigs, I am a total loser. Or I am not a total lizard. Sorry.
Swigs is a total lizard.
Let's see.
Congratulations. I name you King of the Fasilasukai.
Really did, even though I wanted them to be longer. Chat, we need your opinions on the movie if you've seen the movie so we can put in your comments like we always do when we do this.
Come on, chat. Come on. We need you to talk, chat. Come on, chat. You can do this, chat. Come on.
Chat. Why are you even here if you're not talking?
Chat, you either give us money or you comment, chat. Come on.
Yeah, what are you doing? I'm even gifting you stuff, so read. Biggles does not like lizard people, especially hot lady ones. Oh, he's trying to say because I said the healer show sucked dick.
Okay. Which healer show that sucks dick? Because
Spanish
you
healer.
need to. Oh, I was about to say you need to narrow it down when you're talking about healer shows that suck dick.
Peak 10 of 10. All right, so Marcel says, wait, Marcel, I thought you said you didn't see the movie.
He's read the manga, I think, is what he said.
Okay. I'll put it anyways. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it is. I appreciate it, Marcel. Okay. I wish there was more Inosuke, but I knew going in he should be the next movie. Um, oh yeah, I had a picture of Inosuke and Tanjiro talking about how they figured it out. Zenitsu, who I despise, was fucking perfect in this movie.
Yeah, because he finally stops being a sniveling fucking coward.
Finally stops being a whiny little bitch. I heard as a manga reader, it exceeded my expectation. Okay, I'm putting that in here. As a manga reader, it exceeded my expectations. Oh, so Swig said this was just okay, but said Brilliant Healer was pretty good. So I think I need to hit him with a baseball bat next time I see him. As a manga reader, it exceeded my expectations for how much care they put.
Well, if someone's named after Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, they deserve to be hit with a baseball bat.
I dislike that they are released. You can also wish I put. No, we're not putting. I wish Docky was back, so I'm still gooning to this day in there. Swigs. I am not a total loser, but not as good as the Brilliant Healer because I am full tarded. Not retarded, full tarded.
Well, you can't be
Full-tarded.
retarded if you were never untarded to begin with.
So, what do you want me to put? I can put a fake name for you, Jeremy Turner, if you want. JT Ner. JT Ner. This is my actual name. No, I'm just kidding. What do you want me to put?
Just name him Cosmo and Wanda, because Jeremy Turner reminds me of Timmy Turner.
Cosmo and Wanda. Okay. Tell us what you have for us, Jeremy Turner. I said Infinite Castle was good compared to other arcs of Demon Slayer. Biggles can't localize anime. Okay, let's change what it says.
Well, yeah, if you compare
No,
anything to the fucking Swordsmith Village, it's like the weakest arc of Demon Slayer.
But he said it wasn't as good as it compared to other arcs. Demon Slayer. Okay, we're not putting that Biggles line. 9 out of 10. Okay. All right. You don't have anything else to say? All right, let's see.
I have Jowie Wanchos.
Contains spoilers. Okay. Akaza losing is a tragedy How do I spell that? Or way wrong. My spelling is a tragedy, because I won't get to hear that amazing theme music in the next movie. Fuck. Okay. I don't think it is as good as the fights in the Mugen Train or the Entertainment District, but not as good as Tengen. Wait, Tengen and Tengoku. Okay. Instead of being a strings of edited, I wish it had been edited to be a movie. Instead, wait, wished it had been edited to be a movie. It is a movie. Do you mean one whole movie where all three parts? Well, he explains this more towards me. Let's go through the 10 gifted memberships I gave.
Thank you, Biggles Mets, for gifting 10 Biggles Mets memberships.
Yes, Rolando got one.
Taco Roland.
Wes got one. Whose review we read? The Saska sisters got one. Bad Take Bojin got one. Way She Goes got one.
Sisters are stalking you now. Oh no.
That's okay. I approve. Brian got one. Mr. Sieb got one. Stunning and Brave Megatron got one. A2 got one. And Dreaming Tabitha got one. All right. So can you explain for my retardedness, please? I think it wasn't a coincidence. I didn't. Swigs is also gay. All right. Animation looked really good. Animation looked really good. Tragic loss. Tragic. No. Tragic. Yeah. Tragic loss. But we got the Damon mark. So fuck yeah. Okay. I felt like 6 episodes at once instead of a coherent film. I get it's 1/3, but I wish it had flowed better. Okay. Cosmo and Wando, 9 of 10. Wish it flowed better. Felt like it was a 9. Wish it flows better. Felt like it was a 6 episode, not a movie. Animation 10 of 10. All right, anybody else in chat want to get in on this review? The hype is real. 70 million motherfuckers. 70 at sign. 70 million.
The hype is real. What does Israel have to do with Demon Slayer?
No, not Israel. Is real.
Is real. You're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable every now and then, Biggles.
Solvable. My bad.
Go help your uncle jack off the horse.
Whatever, man. That horse needed it, okay?
That one really got to you, little Chad, didn't it?
It did, because I could just picture Biggles going, okay.
There's literally a tweet for me if you want to go find it. It's like, is it help jack off a horse, or is it help my Uncle Jack off the horse? And I had it with the commas in different places. And someone was like, well, what are you trying to do to the horse?
The Oxford comma does the most work in the entire English language.
Someone was like, well, it depends on what you're trying to do to that horse. I don't know which movie that is. Let's see. All right. I think that's good. I think that's everybody in the chat. Pubalash. I am not a robot. Pubalash. Right. That's how that word is said. All right.
Habada?
Habada, hey. Okay. How
Habada.
do I post this to the group again? Post. Nope. Post. Last time it took me like 5 days to figure it out. What did I do for this one? Edit. Oh, yeah, okay. I think that's it. Okay. Where is the posted group? Boom. We broke it down. Biggles pees too often to be a robot.
This is how you know I'm actually a robot, because you never see me taking a break to go to the bathroom on stream.
He does not pee. This is true. All right, everybody. Oh, look. We got members. Look at that. Crimson is now part of the group. We got group members. Remember, it is the pinned comment. So if you are on this, go join. And then you can come in here and be like, Biggles, you're a fucking loser. And then I'll comment on it. Why not? Why not? All right. We have 38 minutes left for the normal show. Who wants to talk Really Rocks?
Everybody here wants to talk Rory Rocks.
Yeah, I'm always disappointed. Like, these last 2 episodes haven't had enough Nagi for me, so I'm feeling a little deprived.
Yeah, Biggles over here with his Amari supremacy must be loving the last couple episodes.
Amari supremacy. Let's go.
I do like that. As much as we talk about, like, you know, all the great fan service that we get out of it, there is like an actual like good story to this with like proper character development, especially with like Ruri this episode, where like,
oh yeah, discovering
she she kind of like goes through this whole thing of like, I'm not smart like you guys, so I'm not doing research, I'm just looking into things that I like. And you see Nagi go to correct her and be like, well, that's not true, I mean, what you're doing is research. And she just gets cut off as Ruri keeps talking. It's like, but I still want to know where Pretty Rocks come from.
Yeah, so I kind of enjoyed it. All right. Well, we're going to Silent Witch in just a little bit, so maybe come back in like 10 minutes if you want, because that's usually about how long we talk about Really Rocks. Yeah. So
it was like Crimson said, this is now I guess this is it 12 episodes for this season? So
next
the penultimate
episode should be
the finale.
The final episode for the season. And this may be a manga if there's more of this to read, then I just go pick up because
you need more Nagi, you know?
Because I need Nagi, yes. I need that static image of Nagi in a maid outfit for the rest of my life.
For the
I don't know the bounce physics.
They won't have the jiggle physics.
Yeah.
I love how she's.
Who cares? I can imagine the jiggle physics. Okay,
that's true. But I mean.
No, there's 2 more episodes left.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 13. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's a win. But yeah, they find a deposit, and she flashes back to like the story Nagi was telling about the dragon. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, Ruri kind of figuring that all out on her own is like a nice little like conclusion to like her story in this, where like she's been doing all this because she wants to find Pretty Rocks, but is actually like contributing to like proper research that plays into the history of the area, which is kind of cool. But it was like they go on all of this to like start answering some questions like, why are some sapphire bigger than others? And like, shouldn't they all be, you know, the same and everything? So they go looking for the host rock, and then that's what ends up leading them to finding that streak of sapphire that you know, resembles the dragon from Legends.
Mm-hmm. And then they
I loved the the callbacks to the beginning, what we're getting here. I like that it was Rory doing it mainly on her own, driving the discovery and the push and what they were researching in the context of she was trying to make her life decision for electives in school where everybody else had already made their decisions and she was, hemming and hawing. And then the subtle, like the paper slipping out of her research book and, seeing that she had decided to elect earth science as number one because she wanted to know more about where pretty rocks come from, which is such a good Rory answer. Clearly she's better. I mean, we've seen this in the show so far. She's actually really good at the hunting aspect of it. And when she's applying herself, she's getting better at the researching and documentation side of it. And they made it was subtle, but it was pretty clear. Like when Amari screws up making the slice for the microscope, and then Rory kind of jumps right in and is super good at just like cutting it right in half, and it's pretty impressive. She's got a lot of hands-on skills that are coming to fruition, coming to the fore. So I think the subtle message that's not so subtle is like, hey, just because you may not feel like you've got the book part of this, if you want to pursue these kinds of things, there's a lot of other skills that are necessary to doing it really well. Because I think this show, we know, is designed to try to get people into geology, mineralogy, the pursuit of these as professions in education. And I think it's a nice message. The anime is just wholesome and good and fun, and you can watch it with your kids and your family, and you're gonna get great messages all the way around. It reinforces, finding people who support you, learning that your talents are gonna be something that can be applied in a lot of different ways.
It
And
also it also like shows like a good amount of like how a lot of this research is conducted, with like like you mentioned, going back over some things that they had already covered. So
yeah, like how even understanding myth and storytelling within a region, like Nagi was explaining, can give you the clues when you're trying to track minerals and rocks and origin points and all these things, because those stories kind of, they have hints of truth and there's context to what they're describing that can assist you when you're searching. We got the blue dragon finally, when she pulled down with the rake and got everybody to help her and they just exposed that whole wall. I mean, I like the fact that it was paying off all the way back to the lessons we learned at the beginning. And even though those lessons were already applicable, they really reinforced it. I like letting Rory do this on her own, where she's not just a sidekick to Nagi, as great as Nagi is, as best girl as she is, but letting, seeing that these pursuits, that this, drive and passion is there now. It's just been lit. It's not necessarily dependent on having her mentor there to facilitate it. It's a very good message that you can do, like, once you start down a path, you learn, you get better, you can do things on your own too. This is how you grow. Don't just feel like you can only do stuff on your own, or only, and I mean, not only do stuff with like Nagi guiding you. And you can see how Nagi was doing that with Amari, first having Amari like, hey, you take him this time and lead this thing. Now we're seeing how the lessons, like, clearly this is why Nagi's best girl, because she's not just, running around with her warhammer. She's legit training a new generation of people to do this on their own without her there. So they won't need her to always be there.
And she was in the U.S., and then they had some conversations about the U.S. So that's what it said.
Do you think she wore an American flag bikini?
Like Yamamoto? Yeah, I think so.
Crimson, there's got to be some promotional art for that.
maybe
He'll find it. He'll find it. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was a little distracted. You put that thought in my head, and the first thing I was thinking of.
All right. Anything else? There was a calcium, right, or calcite that they also
Well,
found.
that's all related to the host rock. Basically, like, okay, what rock did this form in? So that we know like where it actually originated. Um, in like in the earth's crust, and we can like start tracking it and start to understand why there's different size crystals in this rock that all sort of formed together and had a
Mhm.
uniform crystal size. So they find Nesis and calcite as parent rock or as host rocks for the crystals, which shows the two different batches of crystals that formed, and that's what ends up leading Ruri to pulling down uh, the vines and discovering the sapphire dragon in the rock.
All right. Well, how about we go over to My Dress Up Darling?
Yes.
All right, so we got My Dress Up Darling. I do have a screenshot from My Dress Up Darling. I only took one though.
I mean, there's only really one that you need, so.
Well, I don't even know if I have the right one. I just,
Typical Biggles.
you gotta have the chibis there, you know. Wait, does she have a fucking stapler in her head? I didn't notice that till just now.
Yeah, remember that when she was like, "Oh my god, the outfits fit so well," and she was like, "Yeah, I stapled it." You know the tricks of the tricks of the trade.
And then Mars like crying.
All right, I know our Gunner Knight has read the manga. Why does Akira hate her? Is this
He's just
misplaced?
next.
Do you want the spoilers? Because that's going to be next episode.
I just don't understand it at all. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's because
I will comment this much on it.
Marin is so likable.
She doesn't hate Marin.
Ah.
she just hates her.
Oh, does she have a problem with Gyaru? Oh no, or she's a lesbian and she likes her. Oh, okay, got
You
it.
guys are gonna have to wait until next episode to figure all this out. But I told Biggles earlier, y'all are going to probably get a good laugh out of it when they finally resolve this plot point.
Damn angry lesbians. No, okay.
No, but I particularly liked this episode of My Dress Up Darling. Because like you get a little bit of Akira's story about like how her like parents like you know told her like she basically needed to grow up, like you're too old for all this kind of stuff. And it's one of those things where like I really like the message behind it, not that I've been through this kind of thing myself, but it fits in really well with the overall theme of My Dress Up Darling, in that you when it comes to your hobbies you should just own it and not be afraid of what people think of you for your hobbies. um with Juju is kind of going through this whole struggle in this episode of like, I'm getting too old to be doing this. And then of course the other two adult cosplayer around her, like cosplaying's even more fun when you become an
When you have
adult, because now
money.
When you
you have all the money.
when Biggles is like, I know about flushing money down the toilet on Kaiju #8 merch.
Kaiju #8.
Have we hit
Slayer, Konosuba. What?
Biggles? Have you hit the 3K mark yet?
No.
He's
I'm at
lying. He's lying.
2,500.
Oh.
I mean, I could if there was. Sorry, if there was
Here's-
more.
Anyway,
I was gonna
to
say,
talk-
Biggles, if you count things you have on pre-order that you haven't had to pay for yet, are you over 3K?
No, there hasn't been anything I want to buy. But I'll tell you what, if they drop that fucking Hoshina with the number 10 suit statue, I don't give a fuck if that thing's $1,000. I'm fucking buying it. So yeah. If they had more stuff, like I've been debating on whether or not to buy the Kikuru one, but
yeah, so to finish up my like thoughts on this whole thing with My Just Up Darling, I liked the theme of this episode. I know a lot of people have complained that like it's not as good as season one, or like there's not enough. I think Marcel commented that there's not enough Marin and Gojo in this season, And I can kind of understand that, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge like there are certain like this whole middle section of the manga is kind of focused on some of the other characters and how their stories relate back to that core element of the show. And
And
it's
I
one of those
would
things where like, yeah, it's a gooner anime because you have a lot of like lewd cosplay kind of stuff. And like all of the girls are, visually appealing in their own way. But like at the same time, you have this like very like wholesome core message to it, a very wholesome romance to it, where like it isn't some like you literally just have two teens who are like awkwardly fumbling their way through a romance. Um,
But the other thing, Crimson, and it's really important they're doing this in the middle. You're giving the fact that Goju and Marin both have other friends and connections in this world that respect them and acknowledge them for cosplaying, making costumes, and respecting them. And by making sure, especially with Goju, that he has other friends and he grows, you're avoiding the pitfall. Like if it was just him and Marin, where it would be kind of weird and a little creepy that he just latches, like that he, it almost would be look at almost like an obsessive love, like she's the only one that acknowledged him and that respected him, so he just latched onto her. By doing this big middle block, they open his horizons. They let him see a world that's accepting of him, especially, with making the Hina dolls and all that. And so when they eventually come together and form their relationship, it's kind of a place where he's not doing it because she's the only person who acknowledged him. He's doing it because he genuinely loves her, and and that's an important thing to do in the middle, so you don't have that kind of trap where it's because even though like you said this is a kind of fan servicey show, by doing this big block where you're exposing them to all these other peripheral characters, you're expanding their world, and so you're making it when they come together they're doing it based on real choice and real love, and that's what makes the story hit harder and be more effective.
and it also helps shatter that illusion that that Gojo's under, where he's afraid that everyone's going to judge him. Because like at the beginning of the series, his childhood friend reacts pretty negatively to the thing that he's very passionate about, and that kind of like traumatizes him. He's like, "Oh, is that not normal? Am I not normal?" To steal a quote from Horimiya.
No, you're not, Crimson. You're not normal.
I know I'm not. But this middle block, as far as storytelling goes, it's necessary for that to kind of show, like you said, that there are a bunch of people out there who aren't gonna judge you for the things you do as a hobby. It's okay to like Hina dolls and do like crafts and cosplay. And without that, I feel like part of the series that is My Dress Up Darling kind of gets lost. It's a really good continuation of the theme of this show.
So I
Yeah,
said,
and so I actually really love doing this stuff in the middle. I think the having Goju and Akira kind of connect is also really important because they're very similar, like giving them that very similar story of feeling judged. In Akira's case, specifically by her parents instead of like other friends. It highlights it. It shows like by giving another character that has such a similar worry that she outgrew in this case, by having friends who supported her, it really kind of helps highlight the growth and support Gojo making those additional steps. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Biggles. Sorry to interrupt.
oh no, it's okay. I was going to say earlier, I was telling Crimson that I didn't really care much for this episode. Now, Crimson explained it pretty well about me. So go ahead, Crimson. You can say that again if you remember what you said.
Um, I don't quite remember what I said,
Yeah,
to be entirely honest. Sorry.
it's okay. I forgive you. Um,
I
but
don't I don't like fully recall what I told you when we were backstage, but I think it's kind of along the lines of what I said earlier. It's just like this is an important part of like just the theme of the show.
mm,
Like doing this kind of stuff is more oriented towards the story. And if people don't like it, that's fine. I mean, again, I'll say, Marcel, not to, I don't mean to rag on you when I bring you up. It's just your comments are a really good example of the kind of like other side of this conversation. Um, and I won't talk much about that. But like, I like this is to me narratively, and a pretty important part of the show.
Mhm.
Showing like the more than just the Gojo Marion relationship, so it's not just the one person there. Showing that there is like a support network for people, that like there are other people who enjoy your hobby, and you don't have to be ashamed of the fact that like you are the only person in there. I've never been in like the position to where like my parents have like looked at something that I enjoy and been like, why do you enjoy that? Like my father isn't like a huge fan of like cartoons or whatever. I say that with quotes,
Mhm.
but it's never like he actually like sits there and like judges me for liking him or whatever.
All right. So what I was saying basically earlier uh, was I just didn't really like it. And anybody who knows me, I really don't give a shit about romance like at all. Like romance series, whatever. But for this one, they're just like making props and like doing, and I just couldn't get into it because I'm just a little bored, and um, but I did get like the chibi scenes, which make me laugh. So, um, and then we had the part with the money that we talked about earlier. That was probably like the only part I actually gave a shit about because it was hilarious to me. Because I'm like, yep, I know all about spending money on my hobbies. Like, but other than that, I think because this is more like girl focused at times, even though there's Gojo in it, um, that I have trouble with it as much, or sometimes.
You just hate it because it's written by a woman.
Exactly, because if it was written by a man, I would still be more. So, but yeah, I it's just like how I am. Like it,
No, I don't expect everyone to be of the exact same opinion as me. It's just I engage with the people who have different opinions on it because it's interesting to see what people think about things.
Mhm. I
I
do like
actually I like it when people like have those sorts of different opinions because it allows me to actually like explore things that I may not have thought of myself.
Let's go to
But it,
Clevitas.
yeah, but I super enjoyed the episode. I think me and Crimson both did it in this case.
All right, hold on.
Bagels, not so much.
We have 17 minutes left. Do we want to talk Clevitas really fast and then get Dawn to Dawn and Silent List, or do we want to skip
I
Clevitas?
mean, I can pretty much talk about what happens in this episode of Clevitas in like I don't know 2 minutes and talk about the important points.
All right, go for
Effectively,
it.
we get a good lore dump in this one about where the forge came from and like the true humans and true magic that no longer exist. Um, and we kind of it's like a really interesting thing that like expands this whole world. Like, okay, there was a civilization that came before, they did all this stuff, um and what how powerful were they actually if they were able to create this book that was able to bind an entire line of kings for generations on end and compel them even after death to do what it wants.
Yep,
Like,
it is a crazy when the like the forged light goes away and you see the book, and especially the conversation where the king was talking about how he revealed that he told his son in a way to give him a choice, and it drove his son insane. It's a really, and then on with the backdrop of the fight scenes that are going on, it's
mhm.
I
it
yeah,
it,
it's
it
just
really
such a good show.
changes the entire tone of the series in doing that. Like with these past couple of episodes, like it has kind of flipped your perception of this world on its head. Um and like last week's episode was really good. I thought this episode was just as good because the story elements of it have been consistently amazing. So like I'm really glad like that I reviewed this the way I did because it held up even after I posted that review. And the only disappointing part of this is that it's a webtoon that doesn't have a whole lot left to adapt after this.
And then he abandons Luna because he's like, man, fuck this. And you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
All right.
basically my theory is the book's going to react to Luna, and that's going to make Clevitas interested in what's going on now.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's go to Don Don. Because we have two more things, and I really want to talk about Silent Witch. So we got the kaiju episode of Don Don, where they're fighting a kaiju. And what's what's the pink-haired girl's name? The one I like the most?
Ira.
I don't remember her name.
Ira.
Ira. Yeah, okay. Ira's like, I'm the leader, follow me, and then like gets knocked out because people didn't listen to her.
There isn't a whole lot of like deep stuff to talk about with Don Don this week. I really like the music, particularly for the music for the kaiju, and then the transformation that Quinta initiates. Like the whole giant robot thing was a great like Super Sentai
Oh yeah,
mecha mashup.
poor Okaroon had to go through the toilet.
Yep. And like I'm really curious to see how they're gonna do this final episode on Thursday. Because there's a specific thing that happens at the end of this whole kaiju battle that I'm wondering if they're gonna like blue ball us right at the end of the season, or if they're actually going to
Probably.
show what happens. I mean, given Don Don's track record so far, I would not put it past them to just full on be like, yeah, fuck you. You got to wait until next year.
All right, let's address this real quick before we go to the next part of this conversation. The whole thing with the book and stuff made me wonder if the story actually takes place in our world in the future and history was lost over time. That could be interesting.
Yeah, that's certainly an interesting theory, and I wouldn't rule it out. It's just like then, okay, how do you rope magic into it?
Yeah. All right.
What I really hope it isn't is where somehow it's a super advanced science society that ended up creating quote unquote magic, and everything like the beast people and all that stuff are kind of genetically engineered offshoots. You've seen anime where they do that kind of stuff,
And it sucks.
and it's kind of it's a, I mean they do it for kind of like joke in Eminence and Shadow, where and they also kind of reference it in Trapped in a Dating Sim, with the original humans versus the new humans. So I think it works well in those contexts. Since Clevitas has been so serious, I don't think it would work as well if I would be like, oh man, that's what the lead up is. Nah.
I don't really mind that, but in this case, I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping that this just ends up being like previously humanity was capable of like original humans were capable of incredible like powerful advanced magic, and then that was lost over time. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that the dark beasts were some sort of creation under this advanced magic that they were toying around with. Given that the way Clevitas reacts to certain things, like how the previous Beast Lord that he dethroned never said anything, or would have known something about this, and that the others never said anything about this situation. Like they would have been there to know about it.
The Dark Ichor, it would sort of tie into that too. That since the Beast Lords are kind of tied to that material, that maybe they were a creation of original human magic using Dark Ichor as like the medium. So yeah, I could see. I think that one is where I think that's where it's leading to from what we've seen.
All right,
So
let's cut back to Don to Don because we got 10 minutes, and I really want to talk about Silent Witch.
Okay, so just to sum up Don the Don, like it's a good episode. I've been loving the kaiju arc. I like Quinta as a character because he's fucking hilarious to me. Like he
oh,
is the
when he
exact
says
kind
this
of
is
cringe
sci-fi,
nerd.
when he does like the glasses push up and is like, "This is sci-fi. This is me."
Mhm.
God,
Bryce Papenbrook as this guy too. Is fucking hilarious.
all right,
Oh,
let's
and
go.
when he goes through, like, because they're doing the Voltron. I mean, for guys who are or you know, remember the old school, mecha, stuff where they go through the tunnels to get to their, ships, their individual vehicles, and especially Voltron, it had a lot of look like Voltron, and he goes through the toilet.
Yeah.
It's just funny, and then they all end up in these seats, and they're like, "How do we do?" And then it turns out, well, this isn't. Why does it look like this? I was thinking of a Buddha.
How do we get this thing to move? And all right, so Secrets of the Silent Witch. I think this is the best episode so far. And fuck you, Bernie. Uh, so this is
Yeah, that Bernie's a fucking douchebag. Like, what the hell, man?
yeah. Jealousy, man. Jealousy is a son of a bitch. All right.
This fucking twat waffle needs to be fucking put in his place, dude. Like,
All
what
right,
the-
so I got a bunch of screenshots for this. So it starts with them trying to shove what looks like a spider. 2, 3. Oh, it does have 8 legs. No, wait. Yeah, it does
has
have
8
8 legs. Trying to shove a spider down Monica's throat because she doesn't like to talk. These people are scum fucking buckets. But Bernie comes in and like burns them with fire magic, and you think, oh look, she's got this like new friend or whatever, and then they get along, but I gotta skip to one, right? And she starts going to him for help and everything. She considers him a friend, and they kind of get a. They're like, oh yeah, and then they go to select her for the Silent Witch. Can you still see the thing because it's showing? It's not showing anymore.
It's still on screen for me.
Okay, good. So they she hides in the curtain. So I thought this was hilarious. So I got the screenshot, and then they carry her to the Silent Witch selection. She passes out, and we get this person who is over the top hilarious about the chess, and he's like, you are like a military general music when you're playing, and your music is like a tactical genius. And I really liked how this character was. Then they're going over the who should be the captain, and we got Monica right here, like Mimi, what? No, like no, I can't be the captain. Like like her face is just priceless. Then Bernie's like, fuck you, you're a 7 Sage. I wanted to be a 7 Sage. Deep down, you always thought you were, or I was beneath you, haven't you? Like, you always thought I was. So he's basically a piece of shit. Then Lana changes her hairstyle, gives her a corset. I should have took a screenshot of her putting on this corset because that was fucking hilarious. She's like, ah! Like, as Crimson says, you can make a whole thing of just Monica noises for this.
Yeah,
episode.
with the comedy from this episode, you could make like an entire compilation out of just her noises.
Then we have Monica versus Bernie again, and then we get a scene where he's like, "You have the same name as someone I used to know," and then because they look similar, and then he goes to like kind of like get in her face because he's like pissed off because he thinks it's the same Monica. come to the rescue, Nero, right? And then she's like, what? Like, what is going on? And then, what, Ryu? What, is that her name, Ryu? What's the bird's name? The maid?
I'm not entirely sure.
Right? What? Um,
This is a good chance to look up Secrets of the Silent Witch, look at characters.
why does this only have 2 characters' names for the cast? The fuck? Okay, did you figure it out? But they're like,
Rin.
wait,
They call her Rin, but her full
Rin.
name is Rin's Belfie.
okay,
Yeah.
Rin. Okay, yeah, okay. I knew it started with an R and was 3 letters, but I guess I got the wrong 3 letters. Okay, so they're like, hands off our woman. And he's like, what? And he like fucking runs away. And those are all the pictures I have. But we have 4 minutes to finish up. Your thoughts on this episode, guys? Go.
I mean, it was a good episode. I mean, I think you're right that it was with what we got with it was the most entertaining one of the season so far. I would say second only to when we got the traitor reveal, but she
And we got
fought
the
for
pins. Yeah.
where she fought for her not to get killed. So those this is probably I would actually I was thinking about it. I'd actually maybe put this behind that one, but it's still top 2 for the season.
I also like the part where she puts on the glasses and goes, "It makes me look like I'm really good at chess," which is in the background right here on the top right. Crimson.
As far as this episode goes, like my thoughts on it are effectively like it's kind of a sad, depressing episode to like like Monica for the amount that she can kick your ass, definitely deserves like a must protect award. Like this girl like needs all the help that she can get. And now we understand like why she was holed up in the mountain the whole time and she wasn't doing anything. It's because of this fucker, Bernie. But at the same time, like for as depressing as this episode could be, it was pretty fucking funny at the same time. It was a really interesting experience to have like really good comedy centered around the main character, as well as like getting some of this like tragic backstory that Monica went through.
Yeah. So I can't pull up Muffler's tape comments for some reason. It's not showing up. They will make the anime only's rage make no mistake. Was that in Don or Clevites part? I think that was when we started talking about Don. All right, so we are at the end of the stream. Make sure, if you haven't, to go see the Demon Slayer movie because it was awesome. If you haven't watched Silent Witch, next episode should be episode 12. So we should be finishing it up on Friday. So you can probably start watching the show. If you're waiting for the dub, 2 more weeks. Or no, the dub is the same day. So if you're waiting for the dub, you just wait like an extra 6 hours on the day it releases. And oh no, it's 13 episodes, so 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Muffler Tape says that was for Dawn to Dawn. Okay. But yeah, great show. We went over a bunch of stuff. It's not as much. And it looks like they're starting the Kaiju number 8. It looks like they're really getting into the final war a little bit early. So we'll see. I guess maybe the wedding's going to be next week. But I could have swore that part happened after the wedding. So it looks like we might be starting off at the final war. And honestly, they could probably make a movie and end it. Because it wouldn't be more than like 2.5 hours worth of shit. Because like I said, in the anime or in the manga, they had a punch last 3 weeks. So they probably don't even need that if they're starting the fucking final war this week.
Probably not.
But yeah, that's it, everybody. it's time to go do whatever you need to do. Go say hi to whoever you want to say hi to. I don't think there's any person we can really raid because I think Ryan's show is also 2 hours. So, because he decided to do it on my show, fucking bastard. All right,
Comics, I think, might be doing a show, but
comics. Maybe.
Comics Division.
I think he does everything on Monday too, right?
I believe so.
I'm not in the normal thing, so I can't set a raid. But go see whoever you want. We'll see you next. We'll see you next Monday with the three of us. I'm going to play the Villainous game tomorrow if I get a chance. So come hang out while I stream that because that game is fucking ridiculous, and I've died like 75 times in it. It's so fucking ridiculously hard. All right, you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.